Sean Mapes, I'm sorry to do this, but we got to rip the Band-Aid off because that's the last thing we saw. A 5-hour game last night, give or take.
Only 5?
It was a very long game where at the very end, Texas had a chance in a game that honestly they had no business being a part of, given the way that the previous 58 minutes had gone. They fall to UW, Washington, 37-31. The college football playoff semifinal. So that means Washington's going to play Michigan in the national championship. Michigan beat Alabama in overtime. First take from this game is that Texas wasn't ready to go. The second, I don't know if they're ever going to get a chance the way that they had to make it to the national championship, to win a national championship in the near future. Because the schedule that they played this year, it's Big 12 versus the future SEC schedule. And next year, they're looking at an SEC that is coming off of a down year with no juggernaut. Do you expect that to happen next year? And also, on top of that, the college football playoff is expanding, so you're going to have to win more games to get to the national title. I'm really looking at last night as a massive missed opportunity for Texas. And I don't know what exactly the cause was for their struggles to get things moving, specifically offensively, until the last couple of minutes of the game. But I do wonder about that, especially as I see all the Aggie fans out there posting comparison pictures of Steve Sarkisian and Jimbo Fisher in their first 3 years, noting that Jimbo Fisher had 3 bowl wins and Steve Sarkisian did not.
Yeah. Really wish that Steve Sarkisian won the Alamo Bowl last year to make that.
Yeah, it would make it a little bit less of a win for Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo Fisher won the Holiday Bowl in 2019. Damn it.
So how you feeling today? Obviously, you got to be bummed out.
What?
You got to be bummed out. I know. I'm not trying to rub it in. I want to hear how you feel.
No. I mean, talking about the play. I mean, the playoff is going to be harder for literally everyone because even if you're Georgia, you're going to have to win an extra game.
Yeah.
Even if you're the first overall seed. And or not every conference is getting harder. A couple of them are getting way easier or not existing. But for the Big Ten, the SEC, it's just going to be hard for everyone. Like Michigan. Do you know Michigan's going to have to play Texas in the non-conference and then Washington, USC, Oregon, and then Ohio State next year. So Michigan, this is probably your best chance to win a title. Also, your coach refuses to sign a contract that says he won't go to the NFL.
He is definitely
in
leaving.
3 weeks.
He is definitely leaving.
Washington, same thing. Hey, having 9 6-year. I mean, this isn't a knock. This is just how their team is built. They have 9 6-year seniors on their team, and the best quarterback in college football. So it's
Michael Penix was
and three NFL wide receivers. Hey, Washington. It's probably going to be your best chance to win a title going forward.
Okay, so you can say it for all these teams, but I do think for Texas in particular that for them, it's going to be a lot harder to get back to this specific spot.
Wouldn't it be harder for Alabama, too?
But Alabama's done it so many times.
Yeah, but this Alabama team, definitely not it.
So they still made it to the college football playoff.
So
right?
Texas.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying here.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. This feels like a really, I don't know. This is a weird to be your takeaway from.
This is my big takeaway.
From a great game last night.
It was a great game, but but Sean,
when all the conferences are getting harder and the playoff is expanding, so one team has it harder than every other team in the nation.
Look, I'm sorry. Even though Washington won last night, I still don't take a Pac-12 team seriously. I just can't. It's like it's Pac-12, anti-Pac-12 bias. I can't take that conference seriously. Michael Penix was playing out of his mind in that game. He is probably the best quarterback in college football. I know there's some Jaden Daniels people out there who are going to say, "Whoa, LSU though, they just didn't have a good defense." And okay, point taken. But Penix was hitting dart after dart after dart, impossible darts last night, and it did feel like he had some sort of magical juju on his side. But at the same time, I look at Texas, I just don't see this opportunity happening for them again next year. I don't. I think it's going to be a lot harder. And this was a college football playoff where you had a weak Alabama. You had this Washington team who, again, Pac-12, I don't take them seriously. You have a Big Ten team who also I don't take seriously because I don't take many conferences seriously because I have regional biases for no reason. This was an opportunity, I think, for Texas to win probably the best that they're ever going to get, because it's just going to get harder, too, because of the expanded college football playoff in the future.
But I just don't think that's unique to Texas. That's the thing. It's just every team. It's going to be harder for every team.
That's true.
So if it's harder for every team...
But doesn't it hurt more when you were there? And
it hurts more just to lose the way. I mean, not just to lose, but to like be kind of resigned to a loss for an hour and a half, more or less, of a game. Or actually, no, I forgot. This game was 7 hours long, so it was
my God,
it was like seriously. 3 hours. And when I say I was resigned for a loss for 3 hours, I mean from the middle of the third quarter to the end of the fourth quarter. That felt like it was about 3 hours. And then to, basically get every break you needed.
Yeah.
For, I don't know,
2 minutes?
6 of the last 10 plays.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't 2 minutes. It was the end of the game was 25 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, that's
but from scoring the touchdown to take it from 9 to what was it? Or no, they got the field goal to take it to 6. And Washington running the ball in the last play when literally a guy getting hurt's the only way the clock stops. And hey, the guy who's been limping all night, your running back who's been limping all night, got hurt. And saved Texas like 35 seconds.
Kick-catch interference. What an idiot that guy is.
Yes.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
For nothing. It was a fair catch. Like, he might drop it. And so we get the ball back. But, like, who cares, dude? Just play defense. They also were playing like man coverage, and that's what led to the bomb and almost another bomb on it. So until Texas got to the 15-yard line, basically everything was going well. And then
they ran that swing pass.
Yeah.
The hell was that?
I don't know if that's on.
That's on Sarkisian.
I don't know if if it's on Quinn Ewers, who did not. Let's just say did not
have the best game.
No, did not. I put his best vision. Put his best foot forward for maybe going to the draft. I think we can lock him in to being a college quarterback next year based on how he plays.
Yeah, definitely.
Or he gets bad advice. Who knows?
They had a golden opportunity at the end, and they had no business having an opportunity.
Yeah, that's also part of it. Is like
you don't beat them.
It would have been an absolute steal job.
100%.
If we're starting the show, if Texas won that game.
If they won that game, it would have been one of the most ridiculous finishes to a game ever. And honestly, lucky, because the injury, you don't expect the guy to just get injured and to stop being able to walk to the point where all of a sudden now Washington has to call a timeout, and then they punt, and then all those things happen. So, I mean, really, you had a gift wrapped for you at the end, in addition to this being probably the best opportunity you're going to get. So I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound.
For the history of college football, this was the best opportunity Texas is ever going to have to win a championship.
To win a college football playoff?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you're being a little salty right now.
This is just a stupid take because it's everyone.
It's not stupid.
And you know what? It's harder for Georgia if they can't beat Alabama ever. It's harder for Florida State because they're going to play in a fake effing conference. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder for Florida because they have 19 hard games next year, and they're going to fire their coach. It's going to be hard for Texas A&M because they've won 10 games in one of the past 12 seasons.
Let it all out.
It's going to be hard for all these teams, Paul.
Let it all out.
Lazy take.
It's not a lazy take.
Stupid take by a hack radio host.
You know I'm right. This is the greatest opportunity they're ever going to get.
You know who else is going to get harder for? Oklahoma, too. Because they're a worse team going to a harder conference. You know it's going to get harder for Oregon, who couldn't win the Pac-12. Who lost to this Washington team who's not good. They lost to them twice.
It's going to get harder for Texas A&M, Sean?
No difference to Texas A&M. Absolutely zero difference.
You see Johnny Manziel?
Zero difference.
Johnny Manziel comes out of left field last night. He's like, hey, November 30th, bitches. Let's go.
And then he dropped these guys had one good year and think their bleep doesn't stink. It's like, Johnny Manziel, you also had one good year, which was worse than this year. And then you followed it up by going like 7-5 the next year. Because you're too busy hanging out with the Miami Heat all offseason.
He was having a good time. Come on.
Congrats, dude.
He's just a kid.
It really worked out for him because I saw that Joe Flacco passed him in career Cleveland Browns passing yards.
No way. Did that really happen?
Yes, he did. For like 30th all time. But Joe Flacco's thrown for more yards in a Cleveland Browns uniform than Johnny Manziel.
I like how mad you are right now.
I'm not mad.
Yes, you are.
I'm smiling.
You're smiling as you do a drive-by on every other school that you still have a leg up
because it only got harder for Texas. That is true.
Specifically after last night's game, Sean. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be harder for Texas to get back here again.
Guess what, Paul? When you are one game away from making the college football playoff, or not making the college football playoff, from making the final,
yeah,
it's hard to get closer than that. It really is.
But this year it wasn't. This year it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ask Georgia. As all these teams that have such an easier road. Ask Alabama.
I mean, they still got there.
They have a running back playing quarterback.
Exactly,
and they're going to bring them back next year. You can't throw.
It's if you're Georgia or you're Alabama, you're probably going to get in, like, no matter what. This is the first time Texas.
And there will be no bias in the committee for Texas.
Well, I think there will be bias for Texas, but again, are you going to be at a spot like this at the end of the year next year? I don't know.
All you have to do is finish in the top 4 of the SEC going forward, and you'll be in the playoff. I feel like people haven't fully sunk in what a 12-team playoff is like. Like, freaking Ole Miss would have made the playoffs this year.
I get what you're saying. I just think top 4 in the SEC, even with that said, that's not a lock. Like, they're probably top 6 every year.
Every team is going to have to be used to, like, losing 4 or 5 games in a season, like, every once in a while.
Right.
And a lot of programs that, like, aren't used to that at all have to get used to that. Like, hey, sometimes you're going to go 7-5, and because the schedule gets ridiculous. But no, actually, no other team has to deal with that. Only Texas.
Only Texas. You, Paul. I'm putting it on your plate. You know.
Thank you.
Is
it going to get harder? Is it going to get harder for all the teams in the Big 12 and the Pac-12 doesn't exist, but the ACC, who has been told they're not a real conference?
Hey, Sean, did you see Syracuse's schedule this year?
No.
With Kyle McCord?
No. Oh, yeah. I did see it. They play like Holy Cross 6 times.
Syracuse is going to be 11-1, and they're going to be so bad.
Not. That's the sad part. They're gonna be 7-5 with that schedule.
No, you just don't understand.
How many points did they score in their bowl game?
That would be 0.
Gotta go to break.
It's the Paul Gallant Show with an angry Sean Mapes and his beloved Texas Longhorns.
Smiling Sean Mapes.
Smiling through the pain. Smiling through it all. He can't believe it's his life.